Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Nights Past CSS. Everybody join and lift your voices into the first song, Believe in Yourself.
Podcast Center for Spiritual Living. In case you didn't know where you were, I'm sorry. It is a good morning. The sun is shining, the air conditioning is working, and the birds are singing. And it's maybe going to be a little cooler this afternoon. I am just so incredibly glad to see you all. It's a wonderful time, and I am pleased that you are here. And I would do the thing if I knew the thing. It just got here, yay!
It wasn't magic.
So, we are a
Loving spiritual community dedicated to all consciousness through teaching spiritual principles
and practices. It's a wonderful thing. Anyway, I'm going to have Paula Wallace. I'm going to invite Paula. Oh, wow, that's a name I hadn't heard in a long time. Paula Peterson, our board president, to come up and give us a little, few, big, many. She's got a huge thing to say. Announcements. Thanks.
It'll be short, I promise. Well, kind of promise. So, all members should have received in the mail a stamped postcard like this for their membership update. We've gotten a really good response, and I'm looking around, and I think most people here have sent theirs back in. If you haven't, please do so. By the end of July, we need to know. You guys are laughing there, and I don't know what's going on.
I forgot.
Anyway, please do it by the end of July, because we need to know our membership count for the annual meeting, September 12th, because we have to have a quorum, so we have to know what our membership count is for that quorum. Thank you, that was a long explanation. The book study is reconvening on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. in the LEC. The book is How Then Shall We Live by Wayne Mueller. The book is available in class. For information or to join this fun group, contact Karen Jordan after 10 a.m. or talk with her after the service. The POP group, which is People on Purpose, is planning a field trip to the Pacific Gardens to do some work, I believe, in the pollinator gardens. Plus a possible art project and or a short hike. This will be Thursday, July 29th from 8 a.m. till 10:30. Please contact Linda Mullins, and she's here right now, or Bucky Dennerlin, and Bucky's here too, with questions, and to RSVP. And if you wanted to call them, the information is in the e-news with their phone numbers, or talk with them after service. So we have a board member position available, and we will be voting on this in September at the annual meeting. There is information packets on the back counter that will let you know all about becoming a board member, or please speak to one of the board members afterwards if you have any questions. If you feel that you might not meet the requirements for nomination, then please complete and return your packet anyway. Your letter of intention may reveal information that would preclude an unmet requirement. So I just am going to tell you a quick story about why I became involved with the board. So when I first started coming to this center, there was an issue going on in my life, and I knew I needed a different way of looking at it and a different way of approaching this issue in my life. And I put in a prayer request every week for the practitioners to pray for me and this issue. And the issue did not change right away, but my approach to it did. I asked for prayer and did a session. And it started to change slowly, but mostly the change was in myself. And I mean, it later resolved in a way that I could have never even imagined. But during that time, I started feeling so much gratitude for a different way of living, for this change that happened in my mind and my heart. And I asked the question of Spirit, how can I give back? I'm feeling all this gratitude. How can I give back? And then the person that was up here doing the announcements kept on saying, there's a board position open. There's a board position open. But I've never done that before. There's a board position, is just one of those things. So listen inside. We have a position open. So if you have any questions, you can see me afterwards. And then one last announcement. Kim Bibeau will be doing an evening it's called an even song. And it will take place at 8 p.m. in the evening, and it's going to be on Zoom. And it is a time of meditation and prayer and gratitude for the day. So it's a time to kind of gather your thoughts and just envelop yourself in the peace and the calm. And she will be starting that Tuesday, August 3rd. It'll be Tuesday and Thursday, so August 3rd and August 5th. Right now for the month of August to kind of see how it goes. And if it'll last about 20 minutes. And if you have any questions, you can see Kim afterwards. It will be the same Zoom link as your Sunday service. And that'll be in the evenings also. And now please stand and join Dave in singing We Are One. Please join me in reading the gratitude that's on the screen. Maybe. And there it is.
Yeah, here.
Okay.
I am so grateful that I can change my life simply by changing my mind.
It's a great one. So again, welcome to our center. So good to see everyone after seeing everyone in little squares, those pretty little squares. It's actually good to see and touch and hug. And thank you for being here. My name is Sherry Davis. I'm a licensed practitioner here at the center. And Treja is our practitioner at the table today. So she's at the back table. She's holding high watch. She's knowing that this service and everyone here and everyone on Zoom is in being divinely held. And so I thank her for that service.
If you need a prayer, page, in the back of your chair is this form. If you'd like to fill it out, you can put it in the box at the back, give it to Treasure, give it to any one of us practitioners, and or put it in the offering bowl as it comes around, and we will pray with you and for you for the week. So will the practitioners who are available to speak with anyone after for a short prayer, please raise their hands or stand, whatever you want to do. Okay. So you can see any of those practitioners if you'd like a sweet, short prayer to shore up your life. Don't leave with a heavy heart or a situation unresolved. We just go to prayer. Let's see. The flowers, I think, are from Claire. Yes. Okay, Claire. So nice to have flowers again too, right? Yeah. And then is anyone here for the first time today? If you would just raise your hand if you are, Kim will give you a welcome packet that just tells you a little bit more about us. No newbies today. And a reminder to please silence your cell phone or any of those other things. I don't even know what we have anymore that makes noise, but besides that. Put them on quiet. And then we will read the affirmative prayer together. There it is. It's magic. Divine intelligence and love is always present in and through and as me. So it is. And now we just sing the I Am Loved song together. Stay in your seats. I am, I am, I So I invite you to close your eyes as we go within for a few moments. We become even more aware of that inner presence, that divine presence within. We know that it is within each of us. And as we recognize that in ourselves, we also recognize that inner divine presence in each person here, in each person that is joining us today in consciousness. And so we will just remember that we are loved, we are love, and we are loving. As we take this into a little quiet time within, remembering the ways that you are loved, you are loved, and you are loving. Gently bringing your awareness back to this room, your body in your chair, and giving deep thanks for the love that is. And so it is. And so now we will have some special music, and followed by our Sunday talk by our ministerial candidate, Kim Bibeau.
In your eyes, questions of the ages, there are challenges and changes in everything you see. It's hard to trust, and sometimes the best of us can lose our way. That's why I'm here to say, I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you that you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. It's in your hand. There are angels in the answers. Choose your second chances. This is where you're meant to be. Don't second guess. Life will give you all the happiness that you deserve. Rest assured, I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. I'm gonna ask you to remember you have everything you need. Every time you look into a mirror, 'cause no matter what life might do, the light will surround you. Always have the only word you'll ever need to hear. I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you.
Course this lady. In the light of love.
Treasure. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We're good. Are we good now?
Yeah.
Still a little there, but better. Thank you, Tracy. I'm so glad that we were able to work out how to have Kit's song on there. Kit is a ministerial candidate like me, and I met her at a ministerial student retreat, and she just has some incredible music, and there was something about this that for today, and if we can figure out how not to have this, I would be very happy. Well, I'm hearing it. Okay. So for me, it could be a love about all sorts of things, but to me, it's what practitioners do for us. Thank you. It is what practitioners do. It is what ministers do. It is what you do for yourself as you learn more about prayer and holding each other in the light, and in the light of God, in the light of yourself, and in the ways that you learn. If you don't already know how perfect, whole, and complete you are, the ways you learn that you are that person. Now today I was given the talk title, and it was interesting for me to try and do. You can turn this off. Am I feeding back into this monitor? We're paying for this. No, but I have to. Peace.
Wow, it's the gremlins, they're back. Yeah. So is this one on?
Yeah.
No,
It's fine.
that one.
Yeah, that one. It's better. Anyway, I just thought I would share that song with you. There was no video to go with it, just a picture of Kit, a static picture of Kit. And finally we figured out a way to make the music happen. Okay.
Are you better?
I don't know if I'm better. Yes, a little bit, yeah. There's still a feedback, but it's better. Anyway. So the talk title today is Free Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow. What if the use of affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, has always been for the purpose of freeing us from our own limited ideas and beliefs? And how do we let it be our default setting? How do we remind ourselves when we're in the fit to, oh, I can go to prayer. I can do that for myself. I can do that for someone who is in that place, if they so choose. It's just one. It is one of the tools that our founder Ernest Holmes gave us, and one that I believe allows science of mind to stand out. And this month we're going to take the opportunity to revisit our spiritual principles. They've started using them, and we're pulled forward by the vision. It's an opportunity to revision, to refine, and recommit to the vision that the global vision that CSL has, to our individual visions, to the vision of this center. For people to come, to be with us. And we see in a world in which Each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Consciousness is, it's not here, it's not here, it's God. All right, so what do you think? Could affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment free us from our limiting and limited beliefs? What would happen if every time, just as I said, you got to a place that needed a shift and you did a prayer? You realized your innate goodness. Your innate goodness, not beseeching, not hoping God will hear us. We aren't asking, we're declaring, providing an avenue for something to happen. We're realizing a willingness and a knowing that something is happening by divine design. We use treatment to free and unclog our minds of that which does not serve us. Treatment is an incredible tool to free our minds and leads us into the freedom that is our birthright. It is a principle of science of mind. It is for the purpose of freeing us from our own unlimited, limited ideas and beliefs. You may have thought that you've been left alone to fight a battle, and yet you never have been left alone. You are here to discover the real nature of you, to know that you may know, consciously know, the presence of good. Every time you rap on your consciousness, and each no becomes a yes, and each fear becomes faith, you become freer. You thought the doors were locked. You thought they were stuck. And you realize within the presence of God that you were bound by your unbeliefs, and that those locks and closed doors you thought were real. Not real. It's amazing the beliefs that we hold, and we hold dear sometimes. Not real. I really had a hard time with affirmative prayer when I began. I didn't get it. I could say the words, but connection with God, oh yeah, well, okay, God, no. The Spirit, okay, that was a little easier, but still a whole other story. As I learned that God was within me and not outside of me, that as I breathe, I'm anchored in knowing that God is all there is. The presence, the love, the life, and the joy that is now. This is Spirit within me. In that love of Spirit, I can scatter joy. I can know the love of the divine, and my life becomes all that I want, all I intend to be. And all of those qualities, life, love, joy, and many more, are true about me, and they are true about you. Because God and I, we, you and me, are we separate? No, we are not separate from God. We are never separate from God. It's impossible to be separate from God. That is what affirmative prayer does for us. When there is chaos or hurt, allow yourself to open to the quiet within. Peace that you may not have thought possible opens a doorway in your consciousness. The thought that strengthens the bonds between you and Spirit, the indwelling Spirit, let that peace be in prayer. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, prayer reaches its highest possibility when it rises above the limitations of any existence in circumstance. rises above the possibility. When we pray affirmatively, we are providing an avenue through which something may happen. We are not sending out thoughts or holding thoughts or willing something to happen. We are realizing something within to happen. That realizing within ourselves or about someone else. We are willing to be willing. We know that they are happening. All of what is happening with and for us is by divine design. You know the steps of affirmative prayer. I'm just going to go through them a little bit, just in case you've heard it a little differently. So the first step is recognition, to know God, through the experience of God. It happens in the silence you speak out loud. It happens when you speak out loud, but it also happens in the silence. It is love present everywhere. It expresses how you feel, and that is when God shows up, because God is in your life. The second step is unification, knowing that you and God are connected. God and I are one. That your oneness with God is with all life and all people. Knowing that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. The third step of realization is speak a word of affirmation. Claim a shift of consciousness. Stoke the fire of spiritual conviction. We pray for qualities, not outcomes. We pray that joy instead of remorse, but love rather than hate, those qualities that are the very being of spirit, the very being of me, of you. We pray for the perfection that is us, that is the situation surrounding us, those qualities. That perfection allows a shift in a spiritual conviction to change within us what we may think. The fourth step of gratitude, know that it is done. Celebrate and reaffirm that all is well. We don't wait for a demonstration or a healing. We give thanks right here and right now. We're grateful in advance for knowing that it's done as we have intended in our prayer. The fifth step is release. Let go. Don't hang on to the prayer. Trying to make something happen, release it and trust the universe and the natural laws of spirit to allow and to know. There are no magical steps to prayer. This is how it is taught in Science of Mind, but there are no magical steps. And if you skip a step or get them out of order, all is good. Rabbi Harold Kushner said, let prayer burn away the fog so that we can see each other clearly, so that we can see beyond limits, beyond accents, gender, or skin color. Let the warmth and brightness of the sun melt our selflessness so that we can share the joy and feel the sorrows of our neighbors. And let the light of the sun be so strong that we will all see people as our neighbors. Let the earth, nourished by the rain, bring forth flowers to surround us with beauty. Let the mountains teach our hearts to reach out upward and reach to heaven inward. You might think prayer doesn't work. Prayer always works. We may not have the belief to hold that what we've asked for is ours, is for us. But it does work. It works right now, and God is always right there with that prayer. We may be having unconscious thoughts that are actually unconscious negative prayers. We may be even saying words. Even one word of complaint can be a prayer. When you make statements reaffirming your deepest held beliefs, you are praying, and our mind hears all prayers and acts on them. There is no distinction between when you are grumbling in traffic and when you are meditating and praying. When we do affirmative prayer, we take our attention from the problem. We affirm the solution. When we use the mind of God, when you shift your attention to God, you remember that God is with you. That infinite intelligence is the answer, and though we can use that intelligence often, we are not the clearest place for the mind to get the best message. That is when you see a practitioner, see a minister. That's when help is what we need to help us see. There is a difference. There's a different way of looking at this. Remember that God is always with you. Infinite intelligence is the answer, and all things are possible with God. We experience prayer as a spiritual power in our lives. We come together in spiritual community to remind ourselves of that truth, and in that truth, we recognize each other. Is there a greater wisdom within you that serves you in your life right now? Is that wisdom what you hold in spirit? Have you prayed for a specific outcome and your prayer was answered in an unexpected way? As Paula said a little earlier, would you cultivate prayer as a way to cultivate deeper awareness of your divine nature, as you would cultivate your garden? I have this little story, and it's a little different, but I really thought it might fit here. A woman was waiting at a restaurant to pick up her takeout, and on the heels of finishing a profound book, Tattoos on the Heart, she said, I settled in and picked up my phone to do what waiting people do these days. Suddenly, the room hushed, and there was a weird change in the atmosphere. The clatter of cutlery on plates, the voices of those near me, the traffic passing by on Cherry Street, all of those sounds became muffled, and there was a feeling of density in the air. At the same time, the sound changed. Everyone around me lost the vividness of their human suits, and I could see with perfect clarity that there is nothing between us, or rather, there is something between us, and it flows everywhere, within and without, through all things, even what had appeared seconds before to be the empty spaces in the room. The human costumes became misty, and their brightness faded. Something else came to fore, a pulsing, waving kind of energy and aliveness. It was extraordinary. It's also hard to describe. I saw it, but beyond that, I intensely felt it. While the people looked almost like outlines, and there was that strange quieting, everyone was still talking and moving around. I sat in the entryway in the midst of that crowd, and everything, all of us in there, and everything in the place were suddenly connected. There was no distinction, no physical separation. I saw it with my real human eyes, a fact that still astonishes me. And in seeing it, there came an overwhelming rush of fierce tenderness for everyone there, for everyone here, for all of us, because we are so oblivious to our own extravagant beauty. Tears were flowing, though I wasn't crying. It was a no words experience I kept trying to find words for. In that restaurant, I was infused with a powerful sense of that divinity flowing equally through all of us. Equally, all of us. This is by Lynette, an unexpected mystic. this is what we see here. This is what we see when this is what we feel when we sing. This is what connects us. This is what community is for us. And in that, I'd like to do a prayer. God is all there is. God is the spirit, the life, the presence that is in this moment, in this time, in the spaces between the leaves, the sound of the dog barking, everything is God. Everything is the beauty, the joy, the freedom, the harmony, the peace within. And God and I are one. And as God and I are one, you here in this moment are one also. God is within each and every one of us. God is the knowing that we hold dear. God is the believing in what we may have never believed before, and knowing that maybe what we believed previously wasn't real for us. And in that knowing, we are all one. And I claim shift in consciousness. I claim shift in consciousness that as we are all one, we individually, each individual person here, out in the world, around the globe, we too can shift our consciousness. We can know for ourselves and each other joy and peace and beauty, and know that power comes from peace, and that joy comes from that beauty. And I am so grateful. I am grateful to share in the shift in consciousness, in the joy. I'm grateful that we are growing and expressing and knowing our individual lives are such that it is just a beautiful, grateful expression of God. And I release this all into the universe, into a world, into the consciousness of God, knowing that it is done. And if you'll join me, and so it is. Thank you. It's beautiful. And let's see, we get to do.
Do what?
We get to do what? Oh, we get to do prosperity, and we get to do the prosperity prayer. An affirmation. I create abundance easily and effortlessly and share it with love. And so it is. I can get my
Well, by now we've affected things, I'm sure.
And if people will, I am so grateful. What?
How about I am so blessed?
I am so blessed.
Okay, Let's do
And
that.
I'm very blessed.
We apparently don't have access to the sound system, so I'd like to invite you to just sing, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And I know that the offerings placed in these plates, what we pass, what we give, will go forth and multiply. Will stay here and be used as necessary. And I'm so very grateful. For the offering, for the bounty that is ours today, both here in this center, in your lives, and in the world. And so it is.
So it is.
I lost my little cheat sheet. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
The
a good one.
always.
Sing a song?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's sing a song.
Okay.
What would you like to sing
How
now?
about we stand up and sing right here, right now?
There you
Do
go.
this like, how do we know this?
We know this song.
Right here, right now, we're gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need, I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, where I am. Good job.
Go, yeah, please. Well, actually, I thought we'd do a little benediction, a little different, but, and for some reason, even though we did it for years and years, my brain can't remember this one, but I love it. Oh, it can remember everything. It's just a little full right now. There is only one life.
There is only one life.
That life is God's life.
That life is God's life.
That life is perfect.
That life is perfect.
That life is my life now.